solving Leetcode question 387, first unique character in a string. So for this question, we're given a string s, and the goal is to find the first non-repeating character in it and return its index. If it does not exist, we return -1. So in the first example, the first non-repeating character is L, and its index is at 0. So we just return index 0. The second question, the first non-repeating character is located at index 2, which is V. So we just return 2. In the last question, or in the last example, we only have two characters, A and B, and they're both repeating, so we return -1. Alright, so for this question, the most intuitive way to solve this is to get the frequency of each character in our string, and we do that with the hash map. And in addition to getting the frequency of each character of our string, we also want to track its index. After we do that, we can iterate through the values in our hash map and just return the first value that has 1 as its frequency, right? Because a frequency of 1 indicates that there's only one instance of that character in the entire string, so that will be the first non-repeating character. So that might be a lot to digest in the explanation, but let's get to coding, and it will be better seen than said. Okay, so let's say we need a frequency map here. To shorten, I'll just say frec map equals a dictionary here, and then I'm gonna say for car in s, if car in frec map, or I don't even have to check if the character is in frec map. All I need to do is actually, yeah, I should do that. So if the character is not in frec map, what I need to do is say frec map at character equals going to be a tuple of so let me make a comment here to make it a little bit easier. So a tuple, so key equals character and string, value equals tuple, where the first index represents the frequency, or I'll say a list rather than a tuple here. The first character represents the frequency, and the second index represents, and the second value represents the index of the character. Char index, char frequency. So if the character is not in our map, we need to create a frequency of 1 and set the index to the current index, which can be found in our loop. So currently, how I'm iterating through my string, I can't really extract the index, but I can change my for loop to be to use enumeration. So with enumeration, I could do something like index and then character and s. Then the second value here can just be the index, right? Then else, I could say frec map character at index 0 equals frec map character frec map dot get character at 0 plus 1. So what this does is that it updates the frequency of this particular character in our frequency map. right? And then after we're done with this, we can simply go through our values in our map and see which frequency is equal to 1. So let's do that now. So for keying, or for frequency index in frec map the values, if you say frequency equal to 1, return index. Then if that doesn't exist, we just return -1. Let's run this code and see how it performs. So not is not in. If char not in fric map. And not frequency. Let's try this again. Okay, now it works. So let's submit the code to see if it works. And it works fine. So let's do a quick rundown of the time and space complexity here. So space complexity, I like to do space complexity first because it's usually straightforward. We have a frequency map here, or a dictionary that takes auxiliary space of O of n, because in the worst case we're going to store n characters that, or n key value pairings that are generated from our input string. For the time complexity, we're doing a single iteration through our input string, and on every iteration we're doing O of 1 operations. So this for loop is an O of n time complexity here. For the second for loop, we're iterating through our values, and we're doing a simple check, also O of 1 operation. So say the time complexity of this code is O of n, and the space complexity of this code is also O of n. And there we have it.